everybody who confirmed. So, okay, so let's get rolling. So, hi, everybody. Good morning. We are very lucky to have Gabrielle Young. Gabrielle is a fairly new loan officer. This is her second year. Correct me if I say something wrong, but she's been in the business a number of years in different capacities, from working for as a bank teller, and then well, Gabby, tell us about your progression, how you became an originator.
Yeah, so I started as a part-time teller, needing to put myself through college. And then as time progressed, I took on full-time teller, sales and service, then to teller supervisor, then to assistant manager, then to branch manager. When you're in between assistant manager and branch manager, typically you have the opportunity to originate and close home equity and lines of credit. So that truly piqued my interest and I wanted to learn more about it. And then once I became the full branch manager, just like any retail institution, you have goals that you have to hit and the referral numbers that you have to hit. So in referring to mortgages, and we were lucky enough to have an in-house mortgage person who I became business close with and was able to bounce off questions and learn a lot from them. I decided that I thought I was ready to take that leap of faith for it. The bank that I was at, I did not like how they did the mortgage. I didn't like kind of their goals and their philosophies for it. So I turned to a co-op bank, which where I come from, a co-op bank is just a local bank, typically 1 to like 5 or 7 locations, very family oriented, kind of old school, where you want a loan, we find a way to make you a loan versus, the more structured way about it. Absolutely loved it. However, I was very limited because it was still a bank. So I was limited to 9 to 5, sometimes on a Saturday, but it was, an hourly position that you were not to exceed and you needed to be in the office for, which, as we all know, does not work, especially in today's mortgage industry. You need to be able to be available 24/7. So I started looking for something that was a little more versatile, that allowed me to do more with my career and expand and touch more clients and truly help them, which is what my goal was. I found Justin Kelly on Indeed. I don't know who found who, but somehow we found each other. Did the interview process. I fell in love with the philosophy and the structure and the freedom/ability that I would have coming to a solely mortgage company versus mortgage and bank. And it definitely opened the window for a lot of success for myself. And I think that.
So what, excuse me for interrupting, but what I'm more curious about, what I think is more interesting, is you had, I guess, at some point a change in mindset, because an hourly employee like a bank teller is just a completely different mindset than a salesperson. Did you have a change in mindset, or did you kind of always have that drive to sell and achieve, and you were just kind of in a temporary role getting your feet wet?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my goal, no matter what I've done for little jobs here and there, or working my way up, is I wanted to make a difference for people. I've never been the person in the working industry to clock in and clock out. That's just not who I am. That's not my work ethic. So in climbing the ladder financially, I knew my end goal is I wanted to be able to make a difference. And numbers have always fascinated me. This is where I found that I could make a difference. So it was in the back of my mind always, but truly changed my mindset once I saw that there was a bigger picture and there was more opportunity out there.
So you had a phenomenal first year. You closed 70 loans. And so tell us how you did it. I mean, that's basically the question, right? How did you do it?
No, absolutely. I mean, I think there's 3 different answers to that question. One is when I came in and Justin hired me to cover Massachusetts and New Hampshire. We are associated with the Keller Williams in Boston. So that helped. but Boston has very, very high standards. White glove service wants you there 24/7. If they text you at 10:30 at night, you best respond, or they are on to the next loan officer that will respond at 10:30 at night. So I was partially given that office to work. I was definitely not given relationships to work, because that's not how the culture out here works. Even though they were maybe faithful to Justin, me coming in, it was like, well, who's this new person? We have no faith in them. I had to overcome that. My other state of mind is, although we have it in with this office and we're very close now, and I have some very good relationships with them, what happens if the Keller Williams and Van Dyke relationship starts to crumble?
You never
Because
know.
we never know what happens tomorrow. And nothing about Van Dyke, nothing about Keller Williams. It could be any two companies. You just never know. Part of what I did before was cold calling, and we used to call it dialing for dollars. And you just set a certain time out of your day, and you call and you call and you call. And if you've replaced somebody at Van Dyke, there might be extra call lists for you to use. If you have a manager who doesn't have time to work their own call lists, you may be able to use their call lists and kind of circle back with everybody. Find the topic that you're passionate about. Rates are going up. Have you done your cash out refinance so that you have your nest egg or your next project ready before rates continue to go up? And then another thing that I think I'm okay at, but I'm still definitely working on, is asking for the business. So a good portion of my referrals are from family members that I've already helped and succeeded or exceeded their expectations of me. But then not only waiting for them to send me people, but asking, hey, I heard that you mentioned that your sister is also going through the process. If it's not too late, I would love to compare what I can offer them, or something to that effect, so that you have your cold calling, you have your somewhat warm calling by using lists that Van Dyke might have from previous associates. You have maybe a realtor office, does not have to be Keller Williams, that maybe you just had luck with. And then, who is everything, your sphere of influence.
So let me ask you a couple questions. So
yeah,
what percentage of your business came from that Keller Williams office connection?
In the beginning, probably about 60.
Okay.
Because it was, when I first came in, it was, although, people were reaching out, Justin and I were we presented ourselves more as a team, versus now we present myself where I am Boston. Should we need something, I have backup, and it's Justin, but I am your first point of contact. So that took a few months to kind of transition over. But now I work Excel spreadsheets and lists like nobody's business.
Hold on a second. I don't want to lose track of the fact that you did 30 to 35 transactions outside of the Keller Williams project that were self-sourced. So, which I think is really terrific for a first-year LO. So how did you go about, do you have any relationships with agents that are not associated with Keller Williams, and how did you get those?
Absolutely. I got those from the majority from the list side. So it's not common that somebody who is a buyer agent and a seller agent work for the same company. Yes, it happens sometimes, but not often. So I've gotten that by emailing, texting, and calling updates weekly, introducing myself before the offer is even accepted, calling, telling them who I am, speaking to what I'm capable of doing, speaking to their borrower's ability without giving out confidential information, and truly showing them that, hey, I'm gonna be here. I'll hold your hand as much as you want me to. I will tell you every step of the way. And then when we close, also following up. And I have it's the best way to say, I'm not reserved enough to I'm going to call, I'm going to ask you what went well, what you didn't like, what I can do better. And you're not going to hurt my feelings by saying I called too much, or I didn't do this, or you wish I did this. To me, it's a learning experience, and I can do better next time. But then like for an example, last month I closed a construction loan or a new build loan. I was in contact with that realtor, the selling side, the entire time. Within 2 weeks of closing that loan, I was doing her brother's refinance on his property. So
Right.
you just have to make sure you're there until they tell you that you're there too much.
Right.
Like, and they will.
So in the beginning, you over communicate to really give them the best service possible. Then you earn their trust, and then they give you the rest of their business, which is really terrific. I mean, that's just the exactly how they teach it in the school books if they were to have a course in school. But so any strategy? So okay, so you did a great job connecting with those listing agents. Were you ever able to foster any relationships where you didn't have any transactions at all with them?
Yes. So I proudly wear my Van Dyke attire to my kids' sporting games. I'll wear it, like I wore it through the airport on the way home from family reunion and got a referral who happens to be on the same plane and lives 45 minutes from me. I drop cards everywhere I go. Like even when I go to my bank, like that I do my everyday money transaction with, not even mortgages, I'll leave cards in the corner. I post cards up at the local. I live in a smaller community in Western Mass. So like we still have bulletin boards where you can, put up your information. I don't hold back. I got a referral the other day because we got that text message at the end of the day that rates were going up and the market was ending higher. And I turned to my 10-year-old at my 6-year-old's game and I was like, babe, you want to buy a house? Rates are going up. 2 people turned around and said, I'm building and I'm going to need to refinance. And the other one said, as soon as I find a house, I need a mortgage person. So it's just whether you make it up, whether you just have to always be talking about who you are, because nobody's going to walk up to you and ask you who you are.
So it's safe to say that everybody in your sphere of influence knows that Gabby's in the mortgage business.
Yes.
That's awesome. So do you use social media at all?
No, I'm supposed to say yes, but no.
Well, I mean, you're not supposed to say anything. It's okay.
So a lot of people have connections with social media, and I understand the why behind it. And I have the Van Dyke social media. But for me, I just never been, for me, I need face-to-face. I need contact. I want to be involved with you. I want to learn about you. Don't just hit up a post and say, hey, I'm looking for a house. Well, that's great. Aren't we all looking for the next house? I want to know and be able to connect with you, whether it's on a kid level, a personal level, a neighborhood level, a life experience, and then you draw them in. Anybody can send 12 Facebook messages and see who's going to get you the lower rate. I want to be in there so that you know that I'm here and you know my address and you know that I'm in the same town or community or region as you, and we're going to get it done.
So you mentioned something about preferring face-to-face, and I agree 100%. But of course, we've come off this COVID, and Massachusetts is not one of the more open states like Georgia, Florida. Not. So you're still, being in that real estate office used to be very, very powerful because you got to see and chat with all the agents all the time. I mean, you were pretty much one of the group. But how do you do that now? When we were talking earlier and you said, in the whole office, there's like 2 or 3 people that come in, and one of them is the admin and the other one is the person that owns the branch, and there's like no agents. So how do you make that connection?
My first thing is when I talk to somebody, I always offer, I can meet you in person, via Zoom or phone. You tell me what's more comfortable for you so that they know whatever it is, I'm willing to do it. Normally they then settle on the middle, which is Zoom. So I do a ton of Zooms a day, walking people through it because people still want to see what you look like and the affect that you give off and what you truly are doing versus just hearing somebody on the other line of the phone. I can show them things via Zoom.
So so you do a ton of Zooms. So So explain to me, like, if I'm an agent there, you would call and say you'd like to meet me, and then, let's set up a Zoom. So so we have a Zoom. So what are you talking about on the Zoom?
Typically, that agent will come to me with something they want to learn about. Like they'll say,
Okay.
hey, I heard you say, because I do bi-weekly huddles for Keller Williams too. And they're
Okay.
open to any realtor who wants to come. And they'll say, I heard you say this, can we connect further? Or I heard, I have a borrower who wants to do XYZ, don't even know if it's possible, can we meet? From there, I can use all of our wonderful marketing tools. I can share screen. I offer to print out and send them out the whatever material that I've shown them so that they can grasp it. So I let it be driven by what it is in particular that they want to know. There is times though where every month I get a list of every new agent that has joined Keller Williams. I reach out to each one individually and I ask, what day and time works for you for me to set up a Zoom so we can meet? Doesn't need to be long. I would just like to be able to meet you face to face. Sometimes it's a 5-minute Zoom and they're on and off. Other times it's an hour and I feel like I've earned their business for life.
And is that sometimes like a little mortgage 101 course for new agents?
It is. I like to do it when it is one-on-one. I like to do it more personal, get their background, know why they came to real estate, know their strengths. Like, were you an engineer? Were you in customer service in the medical field? Like, what are your strengths so that I can help you then close your deals? I do also run Mortgage 101 classes monthly for anybody. We send out an invite. It can be Keller Williams. It can be, to my entire database of realtors that I have through Surefire. From there, I try and keep the roster, know who we've spoken to, know where we started, where we can end. Do we need a sequel to this one because we didn't get through everything? And I gain a lot of trust that way, or at least a lot of questions back.
Do you do like an email blast to invite them all to a Zoom call? I think that's terrific.
Yeah,
that's
through
a great
Surefire.
idea.
Yeah. And then, and I also advertise it too, where yes, it's Mortgage 101, but on there, it's not only Mortgage 101, but if you're been in the business for 20 years and something's changed, or you need a refresher, jump on. You don't have to stay for the full 45 minutes. You can jump on. I have a question about ABC. I'll answer ABC and they're off and I continue with the rest of the class.
Do you have a set outline or is it totally like free form?
It's mostly free form because I do try and let the realtors drive it because everybody's knowledge is different. And if you say it's a set, I did. In the beginning, I was like, this is going to be set. But then people were signing on monthly. And I kid you not, people were like, is this the same thing that you did last month? And that was like bells went off. And I was like, well, yes, it is, but it won't be next month because you just taught me a lesson and we're going to figure it out, how it caters to you continuing your knowledge versus me throwing the same things at you monthly.
And the thing is, you've kind of set up this subscription service. In my opinion, you should roll that into a podcast and just get more mileage out of it. Or
that's true.
Or you should set up a YouTube channel with those, just because, just to get more mileage. But I think what you're doing, Gabby, is just totally awesome. You're doing everything, sounds like everything the right way. Just building those personal connections. And you and I know that, teaching agents can be helpful, but it's really, if you can make that personal connection with them, then all the other mortgage stuff, really doesn't matter.
Well, and you get their buy-in. I have plenty of agents who say, Gabby's gone over the gap in appraisal so many times. I'm not the expert. Please call her. They call me to just ask me a question and I end up getting the entire mortgage because I took the time to answer all of the questions. Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
when I first got in the business, my manager told me how to do a class for real estate agents. And I was thinking the whole time, well, are they going to get all this? Are they going to understand this? This is a lot of information. And he was like, no, they're not going to get most of it, but they're going to see you as the person that gets it. And that's all that counts. So.
And then they have everybody call you, and
Right.
you then sell it to them and get their buy-in.
Well, Gabby, thank you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Does anybody, Lauren, do you have any questions for Gabby? Was there anything that caught your ear?
I don't really have any questions. You've hit on so much stuff that we've talked about that I think is amazing. I did want to say that your idea to always wear, you know, like some Van Dyke gear or something, or whether I have like my Van Dyke water cup or anything like that. My son just started playing t-ball and it was freezing, and I was wearing my Van Dyke sweatshirt and got into a conversation with the coach's wife about what we did and what she did, and then it hit it off. And apparently she is an agent for Keller Williams, so we are meeting this afternoon. And I was like, easiest marketing I've ever done.
I have a Van Dyke zip up and I wear it everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, you're doing what?" No, you're 100% correct, Lauren. It's an amazing way to at least draw attention. Even if you don't get that immediate referral, you're at least drawing their attention. And like you said at T-ball, now somebody knows in their tight-knit community group, we have a mortgage person. I might not know her first, last name, where she lives, but she's in our
group.
I
know she does mortgages.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very important, I think. Yeah.
So Nidhi, you're starting to work with a real estate office. Any ideas kind of hit home with you?
Educate them, be in front of them, tell them that I know everything. Even if I don't know anything, I have experience of 30 years right behind me who can guide me in this process.
And so never. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, Gabrielle, it's in my mind that how much are you putting, like how much efforts are you putting in making that relationship with each and every one of your realtors?
How much effort am I?
Whatever you have told us today.
I live and breathe it. People ask me what I do for fun, and I work. That's just who I am. It does not mean that I'm tied to a desk 24/7. Right. I'm out with, I have a 10 and a 6-year-old. I'm out with them, but we're still doing things. We're still having conversations. I am the first one to approach you in a grocery store line, and I'm not going to tell you who I am and what I do, but I'm going to make that connection and at least show that I'm outgoing. And if they ask, that's a great opportunity. It is also, I cannot stress the importance of timing. If someone reaches out to you, you have 6 minutes to return their phone call before they are on to the next lender. If typically it's a rule of 3. Their real estate agent is going to legally give them, at least out in Massachusetts, 3 names. If you don't answer or answer the way that they want you to answer, they have 2 more people to call.
Yeah, somebody's going to answer, right?
Right. So like that's maybe my hardest part. And yes, I can say I've had to walk away from my kids on the swings so that I can answer. It doesn't mean that you have to have an hour conversation right then. You can say, awesome, so glad we've been able to connect. I apologize, I'm not in front of my computer screen right now. What's the best time I can call you back on? And you make sure that you're home or you're in your office to make that call when you said you're going to make it, or 5 minutes earlier than you said you're going to make it. But in this industry, you're always on. It's what we signed up for. You're just always on. That might not be the best answer, but you just always have to be there.
Yes.
Thank you.
I just wanted to interject
ahead,
too.
David.
When I started in this business back in June, I went to lunch with my sister who used to be a real estate agent. And when we were leaving the restaurant, she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going back to work." And she's like, "You're at work." And I was like, "No, I'm at lunch." And she's like, "You're at work. Give this woman your card." And I gave her my card and she's like, "Oh, thank you. I'll call you later." I don't know if she never called me, but my sister said the same thing you said, Gabrielle. You have to always be working. And yesterday I stopped at the gas station to get a cup of coffee. And when the woman handed me my change, I handed her 2 of my cards and said, "Hey, here's a card for you and a card for someone else that you know might need it." And she's like, "Hold on a second." She waited on the customer behind me. And then she told me that her dad is just about ready to pay off his house and he's selling it to her. And she'll be calling me if not this week, she'll call me on Monday. So I never, ever leave a business without leaving a card there, because I don't want to disappoint my sister.
I like your sister.
I mean, that is a
I'm-
very good reason,
I'm
but
getting
yes,
I'm getting your sister as next week's guest.
yeah.
So thank you, Gabby. You've been very
Yes,
generous
thanks, Gabby.
with
If
your
any of you
time.
need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I think Myra can vouch for me. There's not a time, day you can't call. I'm always happy. It can be the silliest question that you think or the most complicated question. I am here. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find it.
Thank
Gabby,
you. That's
Gabby's
very
awesome.
kind.
Gabby, can you let me know when your next 101 is? Because I just want to sit in and see how you do it.
That's what I was gonna ask as well. Could you?
Hey, she wants to go too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'll do is I schedule them monthly with the office manager, if you will, of Keller Williams. They're going through a change right now. Who was it is no longer it. We have not been announced of who the next one is. So I have reached out to the owners. As soon as I have a date, Stephen, I'll shoot it to you and you can shoot it to everybody. Is that okay?
I will. That'd be terrific. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me
Okay.
on.
Have a great day. See you
Thank you.
later.
You all too. Take care. Bye-bye.
So that went a little long, but it was well worth it. So, okay. So we're going to move on pretty quickly. Let's talk about Bombbomb. So we had, I'm having everybody, David and Myra and Adam, have you guys signed up for Bombbomb? Do you know what it is?
Yes, I have a Bombbomb account.
David says
I've heard of
Yeah,
it,
don't
but
know.
I didn't sign up on it, no.
Okay, do the free 14-day trial. Why not? So Bombbomb is have you ever gotten those emails from Brian Lavelle where it has like a little video embedded that says like, here's our top 10 producers for last month?
Yep.
Okay, so that's what Bombbomb does. They have an exclusive on the technology that allows you to embed a video inside of an email. So it's like the first 4 seconds of the video start playing and it's very catchy. The open rate is like 90-something% on these. And it's really a terrific form of communication. So I urge you to at least, they do a 14-day free trial, at least try it out. I think it's a tool that we're gonna all be using soon. I'm trying to get the company to get like an enterprise account so we all get a discount. But anyway, it's still, I think it's $30 or something a month. Okay, so we're going through, and the next section was customer retention, increase your referrals. Did anybody watch that little section or read that little section?
Yes.
I
Okay.
couldn't understand, sorry.
Okay, well, it'll only take you a few minutes. So, so what were they talking about? They were talking about ways to use Bombbomb, and they were talking about if there's a celebration or checking in to share, checking in and giving updates, and also a thank you for the referral. Lauren, did you see that? What did you think about that?
I mean, I think it's great. I saw the one about, you know, I like the idea of sending videos for anniversaries and birthdays and stuff like that, that you can kind of, you know, add that special personal touch to them. I think sending videos about referrals are a great idea, but it all goes back to that, like asking for the business, you know, just finally getting comfortable with the point that you can be like, hey, thank you for, you know, telling so-and-so about me. And I'd love if you told 5 more people about me. So, but I think it's great.
I agree 100%. The one thing that I took from it is these video examples were so super short. We're not talking about making a marketing video, you know, that you may be nervous about and all this. I'm talking about a video that says, hey, Myra, can you believe that 1 year ago today we closed on your home? I hope you and your family have really been enjoying it. I love that neighborhood. Talk to you soon. Bye. Boom. It's like 9 seconds, you know? But the thing is and the same with the happy birthday. I mean, when with Facebook, I know everybody's birthday now because I get a notice from Facebook that says, you know, it's your sister's birthday. Now I know hers. But anyway, so the thing is that when they see that video, it's so much more sincere. It has such a greater impact. Don't you think, Nitty, rather than just the list of the happy birthday, Nitty, and all that, but if you get a video that says, hey, Nitty, happy birthday, you know, we haven't gotten together in so long, I can't wait to see you. Boom, you know, that's like 7 seconds. And then it's going to have a much greater impact, and it does on our customers as well. So I think it's very, very powerful. Okay, any other comments about Bombbomb? Check it out, you guys. The next call, we can talk more about it.
I do think that if you feel uncomfortable getting in front of a video, like all of us do sometimes it's kind of helpful to watch the videos that they post, like the test videos, because not all of them are like, you know, Academy Award winners.
Yes.
So
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
I can do that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And there again, you know, you want it authentic. I mean, you know, having, even if you know, had a full video staff, you know, and that little happy birthday video had, you know, intro music and graphics and all that, it would be no better than you just calling while you're in your car saying, hey, Myra, I saw it was your birthday. I hope you have a great day. Let's get together soon. I mean, that would have, you know, it wouldn't matter. All of that stuff. You know, Gary Vee talks a lot about the definition of quality. People say, he says that the quantity dictates the quality, not the other way around, which is kind of a weird concept. People are like, I don't want to post so much. I just want to post quality stuff. And he's like, but what is your metric for quality? The lighting is good, you know, or the engagement is good, right? So you do something silly and it gets 45 people to make comments. I mean, that was really a quality posting, right? Rather than the one that's all polished with music that nobody cared about. So you have to think about what's the, you know, quality, what does it really mean in social media marketing? So
Thanks for that point, Lauren.
Of course.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm still grasping this concept of the social media and how am I going to attack it, you know?
Well, and it's trying to make videos is so nerve-wracking, and I nitpick myself apart more than anyone. I look at it and I'm like, why am I always looking to the side? Like, do I do that when I talk to people? Like, what?
Right.
So it's nice to see other people don't look, you know, it's not polished. It's super just natural. So.
Right.
And I think it's more the personal aspect.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So like this whole time I'm looking at how the reflection of the light is hitting my glasses and how I think it's distracting. And I'll play this for my wife and she'll say, I didn't even notice the whole time.
We've been looking at you the whole time. I haven't even noticed.
Yeah. So it's weird how we see ourselves. So, okay. So enough about Bombbomb. So the other assignment, I don't know, did you get a chance to watch that video on Skylar Welch?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys, Adam and David and Myra, saw this video, but I posted a link. Anyway, we're going through this MLO Master Series, which I think is a terrific collection of educational videos and so forth. And Skylar Welch is a loan officer in Maine, and she closed, now she's been in the business a while, I think 9 or 10 years. And she closed 250 loans last year. She's got 3 small kids. And so Nitty, what were some of the strategies she used?
Well, she mailed 4,800 realtors in Maine area. That I was like, oh my God, what was she thinking? How did she do it? I just dropped her a message on Facebook that Skylar, I just got to watch your video with Shashank right now, but I think it was amazing. And she was like, that video was done a long time back. I'm like, but what you did was amazing. And if I can do maybe 400 emails, I would say I have achieved something.
Yeah, so you start out with 20 a day. So basically, she was just new to the business. She was trying to get appointments, and she just emailed each individual real estate agent, introducing herself and so forth, trying to get a face-to-face meeting or whatnot. And you know, it's just I guess the law of large numbers. So what is another strategy she used, Lauren? Do you remember?
Hold on, I took notes. Let me see. Sorry. I mean, I remember how much I liked her. because obviously I relate to the fact that she has 3 kids and she can do business, you know, anywhere. Let's see. Oh, the idea of like, once you find something that works, don't stop. Like, apparently that's, you know, I mean, obviously we've only been in the business for less than a year, so it doesn't necessarily apply to us particularly, but other people, when you find something that's really working and you have a great year, don't just stop doing that. Like, you have to continue to do those small steps still, and they will continue to bring you business.
So yeah, so with marketing, we're always testing things all the time. You know, we'll send out sometimes they call it A/B testing. You send out 2 different postcards, you see which one gets the greater response. You try 2 different methods, you know, which one gets the greater response. You see on Gary V's postings, sometimes he does these little cartoons of himself that somebody draws. Sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's a photo. He's constantly testing. And then when something clicks, then you pour lighter fluid on it and you try and blow it up and really take advantage of that. And of course, the things that don't work, then you just mark them off the list. So yeah, she's really terrific at doing that. One other strategy she talked about, which I would say that a few months ago I would disagree with, but now I kind of agree with, is she would contact the real estate board, and they have like a little induction ceremony when you get your license. If you become you understand that you can be a licensed real estate agent and not be a realtor, not be a member of the board of realtors. Okay, it's kind of like you could be a medical doctor, but not be a board certified medical doctor. So it's kind of a big organization. Now, I would say that 90% of all the real estate agents that we come in contact with are realtors, because there's some advantages for them. They're members of NAR, National Association of Realtors. And the ones that aren't are typically like, if you work for a big investment firm that buys real estate, you may have a license, but you're not going to join any board because you just have basically a desk job. So, so getting back, what she would do is she would go to those induction meetings, and then, which would probably be terribly boring, but then she would meet with the new realtors that just got their license, okay, and say, hey, listen, I teach classes on mortgage information. Is there anything about mortgage information that you need to know? And they were so appreciative that she won them over. Now, most of them will not ever do any business, but some of them will. So then you form that relationship very, very early. And because you helped them out when they were kind of starting out, they keep that relationship with you. They really trust you from then on out. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. And then also she joined BNI, which she got a lot of leads from. So Nidhi, how is that going?
It's fine. I went to one open house from the BNI chapter only.
But are you having weekly meetings?
Yes, I am having weekly meetings. Yes.
I mean, do you feel like, you're making friends? I mean, do you feel like it's going okay?
It's going okay. I am building my trust with them. They need to trust me before they refer me anyone. So I am building my trust.
Right. If you owned a florist, everybody would buy flowers. It's no big deal. But, if you're trying to sell a $400,000 transaction, it's going to take a little bit of trust. So, Lauren, we were talking before, you were looking at some sort of leads group or affiliation. What did anything pan out?
No, I'm interested in starting my own BNI because we don't have one up here. And I feel like I know so many people who could, I could be like, I've selected you, to be a part of this thing. But I haven't been to one because there's none locally to me. So I need to try and come be a guest of Nidhi's and, just sit in to kind of see how it's done, since it's pretty structured, right?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. You should definitely, and Lauren, make it a priority to be a guest at one of these. And you may have to drive 45 minutes to an hour, but if it's just for one meeting, so what? It's a big learning experience, and you got to make sure that you like it. You may not like that. It's very, very structured.
Right.
You may not like it. It does have a purpose and it's been successful. So Myra, David, have you ever been in a leads group or anything like that? Are you familiar with BNI?
I tried to, they were trying to get a leads group going near me, and they were having several interest meetings, and it was like me and the person that was trying to form it, and then some lady that sells children's books.
Okay, well, maybe join one that's already going.
Yeah,
And-
and the one that's already going, one of our team members is a member there, so that slot's filled. I tried to, they had the leads group from the Chamber of Commerce, and
Yeah,
that's already full. So I've been starting a business expo that's coming up in May, and I'm just getting out there, and like I don't know if I mentioned this, it's a very small town. When I got here in June, I just walked the entire town from end to end and stopped at every business, handed out my
Okay.
cards, and
that's a
I
small town.
actually got a lead from the baker, and just closed that loan last week. So
That's awesome. So are you
everybody in
close to-
town knows me.
Are you close to a major city? How far is the next one?
Muskegon, but that's the BNI group that one of my team members is a member of. So, only one of each discipline can
Sure.
be there. And the other
Right.
one was about 35 minutes from us, but like I said, it was me and a lady that sells children books, and then the lady that's trying to get the thing going. So,
Adam, are you a member of any leads group?
Sorry, I'm driving to an appointment, but no, I am not currently in a leads group. I've been looking for BNI groups. Most of them in the area are full, so my wife and I are looking at starting our own.
Yeah, I mean, real estate and mortgages is usually the two slots that go the fastest. Myra, have you thought about being in a leads group or maybe joining the Chamber of Commerce?
I'm not in a leads group, but our PRO, which is the Pinellas Realtor Organization, has an affiliate members group. And we
Okay,
meet separately because we are supporting the realtors and, offering. So we actually get to meet, I think we meet twice a month here in Pinellas County, and it's very organized and everybody really supports. They have a Facebook page. They really support each other. There are multiple lenders. There's multiple title agencies, but everybody seems to refer, business to the people within that group. So whoever's a member. So it is nice. And I'm a member of the National Association of Realtors in Sarasota for the Spanish,
okay.
Hispanic group. So I'm getting ready to kind of branch out to Bradenton and Sarasota. So
Do you speak Spanish?
I do not speak a lick, and everybody was laughing at me on our team meeting, but I was like, that's what Justin challenged me to do. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, well, get them to get you that. What's that software called? Rosetta Stone or something?
Yeah, or something. Spanish for dummies or something. So
Okay, well, good luck with that. Okay, so that is basically all. Does anybody else have anything that they want to discuss today?
could
Then
you
we
send
are-
that? Could you send that link out again for the masters thing you were talking about?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we are moving on to 10 questions for really nothing but admiration of your peers. Okay, so so you just raise your hand, or a group this small, you can just kind of jump up and down. Okay, so standard board contracts have 3 contingencies built in. What are they? Nitty, is that you, Nitty? Wait.
We ask your question again.
Okay, so a standard real estate board contract, we all have some real estate boards got a little seal in the corner. It has 3 contingencies built into that contract. What are the 3 contingencies? Okay, Nitty, take a shot.
I know I'll be wrong, but let me try. Financial, appraisal,
Financing contingency, right?
appraisal contingency,
Yes,
and then due diligence.
right, due diligence, or I just call it the inspection contingency. Yeah, so that's absolutely right. Yes. Okay, so you guys should kind of be familiar with that because it's a hot topic right now. Myra, is your market really hot right now? So sellers are looking for contracts where people are able to waive those. Okay,
There's also a homes to sell contingency.
right. So that's like an amendment to the contract. And that right there, that's the kiss of death in this market. If you
Yeah.
give a, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and you can actually write in all kind of different contingencies that you want. It's a contract, but these are the three that are already printed on the main pages. But, okay, so when should you contact the listing agent? David?
As soon as I have their information, we
Okay.
send out, as soon as someone's under contract, we send out a welcome letter, introduce them to our team. And then I contact them with any update all through the process. And then at the end, we thank them too.
Wow, so you got it covered. Lauren, did he have it covered or you missed anything?
No, it sounds great.
So I don't know whether you said it, you may have said it when you said that as soon as I have their information, but just to make one point, before it's under contract, you should call them to tell them how terrific the borrowers are.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but David, you nailed that one. Okay.
Hey, I have a question for you guys, and I don't know if anybody's had that brought up a thought that I had a situation on. I contacted, I didn't know about the contract prior to it happening, but I contacted the buyer's agent, speaking to them and said, okay, you know, I'll be speaking with the listing agent just to introduce myself, just kind of let them know about the process. And she was like, oh, no, you don't need to talk to him. I was like, that was the weirdest. I mean, but then you're like, I didn't know really what to do. So
Well,
you don't want to piss them off, right?
Right. So first of all, I would abide by their wishes and
Yeah,
not
I did.
contact them until it's under contract, but that's really an unusual situation. A lot of times they flat out ask me to call the listing agent because
Mhm.
they're in a competitive bidding environment and they
Right.
want me to tell them that their contract is like gold. So, or
Right,
their offer
right.
is like
And
gold.
this was after the contract, so it was already done. It was under contract, but I just felt that that was odd. But then I did abide by the wishes. I just didn't know if anybody's ever had that situation.
Myra, I've contacted some agents and they've told me, you know, when I say I'm going to be sending them update emails, and they'll be like, absolutely not, take me off your list. Do not send me anything. I don't want to hear a word from you through the whole process. And I'm like, okay, I'll
Yeah.
remove you from the list immediately. And
Yeah,
it's
I-
like
I've
the
never-
Mark Spain agents, Red
Oh,
Door,
yeah.
like those kind of people. They're like, don't even put me on your list. Like, you know, if I get anything from you, I'll be mad. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
Wow. Everybody
Wow.
I've worked with has been thankful, so that's
Yeah.
crazy to hear that. But I guess if they say no, then no means no, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I just, you know, continued on, and she's been an interesting person.
I was gonna
so-
say, real estate agents have interesting personalities.
Yes.
So-
Absolutely. I mean, I would say the majority of them are happy, but you do get those few, and it's like they're adamant about it, you know?
Yeah, but those people that work for Mark Spain and Open Door, I mean, they're more clerical people. They're not really listing agents.
Right.
They're you know, they give them like $50 a house when they sell plus the salary. So it's a little bit different. Okay, so
Thanks,
okay,
guys.
so we're all familiar with Home Ready.
Mhm.
So what's the maximum down payment you can put down to get a Home Ready loan?
0.5. Mm, 3.5.
I thought it was, you said maximum?
What's the maximum down payment you can do on a Home Ready loan? That's allowed on a Home Ready loan. Adam,
I
tell
don't
everybody.
think, so my answer is I don't think there's a maximum. You can do as much as you want to put down. So
That's
there's a minimum that
exactly,
you have to put down.
that's exactly right. There's no maximum. And a lot of times people don't think about Home Ready when they have a borrower putting 20% down. But if their credit scores are a little bit low, you may get a better price. Now, of course, there's that income limit, but if they fall in the bracket, you know, Home Ready may be the best deal, even if they put whatever, 20, 30, 40% down. So, yeah, and what's great is I'm doing a loan for somebody who's retired and they just get Social Security income and just want a little bit of a small, and you wouldn't even think about them needing a home ready loan, but why not if it gets them a better deal? Okay. So when should you advise a buyer? This could be a trick question. When should you advise a buyer to waive the appraisal contingency?
Never, ever. No, we should not.
Leave that choice up to them.
No, we should not. I believe we should not as a lender.
What about you, Lauren?
I mean, I was going to say leave it up to them whether they wanted to or not, but I don't know if I would advise them to waive it.
Okay, so I probably phrased that question wrong. But what the point I'm trying to make is, so we need to explain to them in our competitive market that they may need to do that. Our job is to make sure that they're covered in a worst case scenario. So, you know, I talked to the agent, what's the worst case scenario that you can possibly think of? And they would, you know, they may say, well, you know, we're trying to buy this home for 400. Worst case, if we just got a terrible appraisal, you know, maybe 350. I'm looking at the borrower, he's got enough cash to cover it. Then I'm going to tell them that it's up to the borrower, of course, but financially they can do it. So we're answering the question, is it financially possible? So I think it's important now when we do our pre-qualifications and pre-approvals that we always check to see if the borrower is able to waive the waive the appraisal contingency. Okay, the next question is, what about the financing contingency? When are you comfortable to tell them to waive that?
Once you have a full TBD underwrite.
That's exactly right. Once it goes to the underwriter and the underwriter approves that loan, then you can, in my opinion, you can tell them that it would be okay to waive the financing contingency. And granted, you know, that all of this is a little bit uncomfortable area, but they may not get a house ever unless they waive these contingencies. So, okay. And then the third one is on the inspection. So when would you feel comfortable telling them they could waive the inspection contingency?
So I don't know whether this is a right or wrong answer, but personally, but maybe it's because my husband is an agent, he tries to never tell them to waive the inspection unless it's like they're just going to buy that house no matter what.
So I feel like as lenders, the first two questions are financial in nature, and this contingency, we should not advise the customer on. We just don't know. I just tell them, you know, I just simply don't know anything about that house. So I cannot give you advice. You should talk to your real estate agent about waiving the inspection contingency. What do you think, Nidhi?
I agree. I never suggest my customers to waive off these conditions. You know, they would call me on Saturday when they're placing the offer and they'll be like, can I waive it off? I have no idea because I've never lived in that house.
Yeah. So, but it,
But in this
but rather
market,
than,
I would also tell them that, but in this market, if I was buying a house, I would waive it if I want to have a house.
okay. So what I'm comfortable in saying is, I don't know anything about the house. You should discuss that with your agent. Put the burden on them. And frankly, I mean, the agent at least, I mean, even though they're not a licensed home inspector, at least they've actually seen the house. And of course, I guess the one exception would be if it's new construction or the home is so new, it's still under the builder's warranty. I think they have to warranty the homes for 2 years or something. If it was so new that it was still under the original builder's warranty, you know, I still wouldn't advise them to do it, but I probably would feel comfortable with that. Okay, so this is a little bit off the beaten path. So do you know what the largest country is in Europe?
Is it Russia?
Russia.
Is it Russia?
No, Russia is
Russia.
not a part of. Oh, okay.
Okay, so that was the easy question. What's
Yeah,
the
because it's
second
going on
largest
right now.
country in Europe?
Ukraine.
That's right. I just learned that.
Yeah.
Adam's so smart. It's like he
Wonder
knows
there.
all the answers ahead of time.
Like
Hey,
I
sorry.
put Adam on my trivia team.
Sorry, I gotta
okay.
run.
Okay,
See you
we're
later.
rounding out. We're rounding out. We're down to 7. Okay, so where do you put, when you advertise and so forth, where do you put your FMLS number?
With your name.
Anybody but Adam.
With your name?
And here's, yeah, with your name in the signature line, is that?
You're supposed to put it next to your name. Okay. What? Okay. What is the most important strategy when you're working leads?
Offer them something?
Call them
like
right
realtor?
away.
Value.
Call
Ask
them
for the
right away.
business.
It's speed to lead. You got to get to them super fast. They didn't just reach out to you, they reached out to 9 different people. Okay. So Skylar, remember that interview with Skylar Welch? She did a strategy on Fridays. She did something on Fridays. That was a good idea. What did she do? You remember, Lauren?
I'm trying to see if I made a note of it because I don't.
Okay, well, she had success by leaving messages or emailing all her agents on Friday saying that she would be available this weekend.
All weekend, yeah.
And you can kind of make it sound, you know, I don't know if you make it sound special or anything, but you could say, you know, this weekend, I'm going to be around the whole weekend. And they'll be like, oh, okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Stephen, our marketing team set us up for those email distributions at 2 p.m. every Friday afternoon on Surefire, if you guys are interested.
Okay, that's a great idea. I mean, so that's a great idea unless the email says like exactly the same and it comes exactly, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I'm sure it does, because I put myself in as a realtor so I could see what they are getting. So I know exactly what they say in case somebody asked me, but at least, you know, you're getting that, you know, reminder out to them.
So do you, are you able to edit that, or it's just one size fits all?
I have not taken an opportunity to find out if I could edit it, but that's a good idea.
So if
Like
you could,
alternate.
right. So my advice is to say just a little bit something different. You know, let's hope that the sun comes out this weekend, or hey, everybody root for the Braves, or I don't know, just something that makes
To
it
catch
seem
their
like
attention.
there's something different and they're
Yeah.
not on some distribution list.
Right.
Okay. And last but not least, give me 3 times that would be a good idea to send a Bombbomb video. Quick, Lauren, when would you
Wait.
send a Bombbomb video?
You said 3 times that it would be a good idea to send by my video.
Yeah, give me-
As soon as your client is officially under contract, send one out
Okay.
to them and the buyer's agent.
Okay.
A birthday.
Okay.
And if one of your former clients sent you a referral that just contacted you and is filled out an application.
Okay. Any other good ones, Nitty?
Did I remember a 1-year anniversary? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No,
1-year
absolutely.
anniversary.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
No, it
Come on, Diddy.
was.
Now you
Because
got
I
that
The
one
words out
remember
of her mouth.
So you got to add one
You
more.
did.
When's another time to send a Bombbomb video?
Thank you. Just thank yous in general. Like when I go to open houses, I send them to my agents right after I leave the open house.
There's that smarty pants Adam again. All right, we are going to call it a day. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend. Hey, by the way, if you need a mortgage, I'll be working this weekend.
Right.
So, all right, everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.
You guys too. Take care.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.